Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, get your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another show. I hope everybody's having a good weekend, and I'm excited to discuss this new character. So we'll dive into the armor and all that she brings to the table for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes moving forward. But before we do that, let me go ahead and introduce the lovely folks that comprise the live show every week. The lovely Avinash. How you doing, Abby?
Hey, yay, doing well. Thank you very much.
Good, good. How was your weekend?
Well, the weekend consisted of light side territory battles, which sucks, so I'm hoping this next weekend will be better. Not having it.
Okay, all right. And then we've got the ever-talented and supreme master of all things, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Sir Loki. How you doing, friend?
Oh, you're too kind, man. I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to have you. And Ranger's not going to be here tonight, and Maurice is going to be here possibly in a little bit. He has a personal matter to deal with. He may be able to join us in a little bit, but I think he's going to be in the chat possibly. So, he'll be possibly around maybe towards halfway or maybe towards the end of the stream. If not, either way, I think he'll be around in the chat for a little while. So we'll look out for that. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. What's going on, Minato? What's going on? Thank you, Snorkzata. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's Snorkzata? Snorkzata? Hey, what's going on? And Mike Yench, hey, what's up in San Diego? Yeah, he's icing his knees. Ranger's icing his knees tonight. Is he on or is he icing his knees? That's funny.
That's
I
funny.
thought he's icing some cinnamon buns right now or something, you know?
Is the Ranger on or is he icing his knees? What's going on, Ray Rock? What's up? Yeah, no, I want to talk about the armorer. So I've got the dev update here, the character or the kit reveal or the character insight. So the synergies they're talking about here are with the Mandalorian Beskar armor, Sabine Wren, Rey, Jedi Master Luke, and Wat Tambor. Let's see here. The armor makes her way to the forge, to the holotables. Her expertise in forging Beskar, in addition to her wealth of traditional Mandalorian knowledge, ensure the armor would become a quick and steadfast ally of certain Outer Rim bounty hunters. So, with the armor also comes the Mandalorian tag, the much-awaited Mandalorian tag. I'll have you. I know that people have been asking for this Mandalorian tag since the beginning of time. Very interesting that, I mean, of course I know why, but very interesting that Boba Fett did not get the Mandalorian tag. I guess we'll talk about that later. But, so, first impressions, what do you guys think?
I haven't played her yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And I just took her to 7 stars, so.
Ooh, congrats.
Congrats. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I know, Loki, you told me a little bit before the stream that you've been testing her out. What do you think about her so far?
It's she's like another Wat Tambor. She has a little less synergy. You know, yeah, she has the Mandalorian tag. She is light side, but that's pretty much it. I think I was hoping she would. You know, I don't think she's a scoundrel, but if she had the scoundrel tag, she would have a lot more synergy with obviously more tunes. But for the most part, right now, she's very utility. Like another Wat Tambor is what she is, and that's essentially what she does. Is she creates Beskar armor that gives bonuses to each of your tunes as you ramp her up and do those abilities. But so far, been playing around with her, played with her in the new raid, and trying her in Squad Arena. We get to try her in GAC next week or the next round. So I'm excited about that. I tried her in Lightside GOTB. It was pretty good actually. So just a lot of utilities. She's like a plug and play. You can stack the abilities with Wat Tambor's techs, and then the synergy there. They have 2 Galactic Legends there that obviously can benefit from her Beskar armor bonuses. So overall, the jury's still out for me, but so far it's been pretty positive.
Do you feel like that there could probably be at least another tune or 2 that would synergize better with her and make a better team, possibly? Like something's missing? I felt like something was missing.
No, I think, honestly, I feel like if she was a scoundrel, that's really the missing tag, because the Mandalorian is, Beskar Mando is scoundrel, and his leader actually says, if all the units on your team are scoundrel, you get these bonuses. Well, right. She doesn't have that. That's the problem. And so you can't run her in a Beskar Mando lead. That would be foolish. You have to run him behind her, but I don't think her leader ability is that great yet. Or again, like what you said, there aren't enough Mandalorian specific tunes that you can put behind her yet, I guess. Sabine, I don't think is enough. They haven't redone her kit yet. I'm hoping with the new, not only did they give Sabine the Mandalorian tag, but they gave, Gar Saxon, the Super Commando, all that other, all these other tunes get the Mandalorian tag, but the problem with it is they haven't redone the kits yet to where there's synergy amongst the new Mandalorian faction tunes.
Yeah, right, yeah. Exactly. I was surprised that, Candaris Ordo, Candy. I didn't know that he was a Mandalorian.
Yeah, he was. He was like one of the first ones.
He's a Mandalorian, but I mean, like, you know, how relevant is he to that team, really? You know, I mean, I think it's more just to be canon rather than actually beneficial in any way.
Well, I think he has good synergy. But again, the problem is, we were talking about it in the pre-stream, and one of her abilities, obviously, you're stacking Beskar, you're stacking the armor material. And the ignits, I guess, or whatever they're called. Once you get 3 stacks,
Signets
you give, whatever it is. But you signets, yeah, sorry. But you give 3 stacks to Canderous Ordo. That's the big one where he can't be critically hit, and he has permanent retribution. So for Canderous, that's what you want him to do. Is he's gonna sit there and triple tap and quadruple tap and he does a crap load of damage, and then you can't kill him because you can't crit.
Right.
On him.
I was thinking that he would actually be halfway decent on the team. I mean, this is just speculation.
Yeah, absolutely.
On that. But I think the other ones, like Saxon and Commando, they weren't very good tunes in the first place. I'm not sure how much you might really kind of beef them up or anything, but they may be just kind of like fillers for now. That's why I'm thinking that with the release of maybe some more Mandalorian, that she'll be able to synergize with better team to kind of fill it out and make it look or be a lot better than what it looks like right now.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, she doesn't have a home yet, I guess. I think they did that as kind of like a Band-Aid. Like, you can put her as the leader and then put 4 random Mandalorians now behind her.
Right.
And then there's synergy. But yeah, I agree with you that right now she works best as a plug and play. Kind of like Wat Tambor, right? I mean, he works best as a plug and play.
Well, it was kind of like when Darth Revan came out, remember? And they didn't say anything about Malik. And everybody was saying, oh, he's so bad. He's terrible. Oh, he's awful. You know, you can't put these tunes with them because they just all die. And it's like, okay. And I kept saying, you know, what they need is a tank on this team or somebody to help protect this team because it was just way too easy to pick off. And then, boom, out comes Malik. And that made the team viable.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're probably a couple characters away. And so I haven't had a chance to really mess around with her. I screwed up, guys. I missed the event over the weekend. I was away, and yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. This has happened to me. This has happened to me twice. The first time I was able to get the shards because I was a game changer. I was able to explain it away, and they were very gracious. But this time, that's probably not going to happen. So it's probably going to be a situation where I'm going to have to buy that pack, and then I'm just going to be out those... how many shards is it? 45 shards or whatever you start with?
30?
50? I forget
30
how many.
shards, I think, something like that.
I think you get, but yeah, it's terrible. I screwed up. So but I have to. You don't want to miss out on free stuff in this game. Never. So
correct.
My fault. But anyway, I do, from looking at the kit, think that there is something missing, and I think that it's 50 shards, right, Roxas? So yeah, so 50 shards. I mean, that's a lot to make up, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Anyway, the thing is that there's probably a reason that they introduced this Mandalorian tag, and I don't think it's just because of the characters that are involved in this process right now. I think that we're probably looking at getting Satine in the game sometime soon. And if that happens, I mean, maybe I'm going nuts. Maybe I'm wrong. But, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility after, season 2 of The Mandalorian just aired that maybe one of the next characters that we get is Satine. I mean, Satine is now a character in multiple different shows, right? She was in The Clone Wars. She's in The Mandalorian. She is in Rebels. You know what I mean? So she is...
Are you talking Bo-Katan?
Sorry, Satine. She's Bo-Katan. Yes, I'm talking about Bo-Katan. I apologize. Yeah, Bo-Katan.
I mean, I would say when you said Satine, I go, okay, you think they would go way back and do like pre-Vizsla and
I'm just
you know.
like mind fart right there. I apologize. I was thinking, I was just thinking.
I was vibing you, man. I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, they could go back and maybe Satine and General Kenobi have synergy or something. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, no,
but, you know.
no, I'm thinking of Bo-Katan. Yeah, no, I apologize.
Sure.
I don't know why Satine came to mind, but yeah, no, Bo-Katan was in all 3 shows. So I think that Bo-Katan could technically... Bo-Katan was pretty badass in The Mandalorian too. So I think that there is... you know, especially considering how important she's going to be to the show now. I mean, considering not only did she make her way... you thought I meant Sabine? No, I'm not. Listen, guys, okay? There's a lot of characters in the Star Wars universe. Every now and then, my words get fumbled. I could
see if Satine was really going to be in the game, I could totally see her being like Mon Mothma or something, right? Like just you know, she has no attacking, but then she can lead you know, Mandalorian army or you know, or you can throw GK in there and then he has synergy with her. That would. I was vibing that, man. I thought you were talking about that, and I was like, okay, I'm on board with that. You know. So.
I would be on board with that too. I mean, if we're talking about like, you know, just out of the box stuff. I mean, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But I mean, like that. I think it's more realistic that Bo-Katan is coming into the game. Yeah, I know Sabine is Mando. Definitely, I know Sabine is Mando, and she has also got the tag. And they may rework her, but I think that eventually we'll see a live action Sabine at some point. So maybe we'll see another version of her at some point. But I do think that, you know, Bo-Katan is somebody that's a very important character to the entire Mandalorian Star Wars story. And she's not in the game. And you know, me and Abby were talking before Loki came onto the stream. We were talking about characters that aren't in the game, and I mean, there is a bountiful amount of characters that they just never cashed in on, which I'm kind of really shocked about. I mean, like, you know, if you think about the characters that we did get, right? Like, we did get Rose Tico and Amlin Haldo, but we didn't get Snoke or the Praetorian Guards, right? So if I was somebody who was like deciding, okay, we have The Last Jedi, which characters from this game am I going to create? I mean, I think that I would pick, you know, I think I would pick, you know, Snoke and the Praetorian Guards over Amlin Haldo and Rose Tico, personally. You know what I'm saying? But I think that would sell more. Like, you know, just from a sales standpoint, I think you're selling more Praetorian Guard shards than you are Amlin Haldo shards. And maybe, you know, I think they know that too. So I don't know why that happened, but I think that there are some characters that are in the story. Like, I mean, like the fact that we have, like, you know, the fact that we have like Coruscant Underworld Police, but not Snoke in the game is weird, right? Like the fact that, you know, the fact that we have, you know, the fact that we have a lot of characters and not, I mean, we have, you know, from Rogue One. I mean, we have a bunch of characters from Rogue One that like weren't even in the movie at the end of the day. I mean, they were like supposed to have a bigger role in the movie, but they, I mean, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Like Pow, like some of the other ones had like 2 seconds.
Pow, oh man, what's his name? He has a ship too.
Biston?
Biston, yeah, Biston.
Yeah.
Biston was like, I don't even think Biston was in the movie. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
was. He was.
I think they took him out
but
entirely.
for a fleeting second. For a fleeting second, yeah.
I remember seeing a special about Rogue One, right? And like Biston was like a big deal in the special. Like they kept talking about his makeup and the guy who was playing him. I think it was actually like a famous person who was like in his costume or something. Like it was like not. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering this, but I just remember Biston was supposed to be a bigger part of the, and Pow was too. There were a couple characters like that big abominable snowman looking character. Like I think that whole beach scene that they cut out of the movie, you know, the one that's famous, like where they're running with the Death Star plans in her hand, and she's running across the sand, and they're getting bombed by the shore troopers and stuff.
Right.
Like that was a part of the trailer, and then it never made it into the movie, right? And that, you know, you don't get to that part where they're on the beach running with the Death Star plans unless you change that whole ending, right? So there must have been like a completely different ending to that movie than what we got on screen, and I'm pretty sure that that probably included more scenes with some of those characters. So, I mean, I get it. They probably had to make a decision in advance of the movie being released, so some of those decisions get made later on, and then it is what it is. But the fact that we have, the fact that we have, some of these characters, for example, let's take a look at Rogue One characters here. I have somebody interesting that I wanted to mention. So the fact that we have Bodhi Rook in the game, and then we don't have Supreme Leader Snoke in the game, doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what I'm saying is I feel like somebody like Bo-Katan coming in from this show, from The Mandalorian, makes a lot of sense. So I think that's something that could happen. And, obviously with her, we could also get some other Mandalorian characters. And if Bo-Katan were to come into the game, she probably would have a leader ability, and she'd probably add some sort of synergy. And you're saying that the Armorer is more of like a facilitator, kind of like Wat Tambor, essentially. So what I'm saying is...
the Armorer does attack, so I mean, she has that, and she does the armor shred, which is a big deal. That the armor shred ability for her, and then she gains the stacks of the Beskar material and then spreads them. So she's kind of like I don't know, it's like a different version of Wat Tambor, but it's along the same kind of mechanic,
We could eventually get Mandalorian leader Darth Maul, right? Like Mandalorian, like Mandalorian
right.
Darth Maul. That could happen. I don't think so though. Like, we're not getting another person in this game with the Darksaber. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think that's maybe Mando eventually will have the Darksaber. But I don't think so. I don't know where they're going with that storyline, but yeah. So the whole point of this is I'm saying that in all likelihood, he gave a vibrant grunt. Yeah, Bista was in the movie for like maybe 10 seconds, so maybe 2 seconds. So, but yeah, I don't even think he had a spoken word in the movie. So I'm just saying that there are characters that we have in this game that are less less important, and to me, somebody like Bo-Katan, somebody like possibly, I mean, any of those Mandos that were with her realistically could eventually, come into the game. I mean, we could see Bill Burr's character come into the game. I don't think we're done with Mandalorian content from season 2. I think we're going to get more of it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, the Armorer is a support character that provides her squad powerful buffs, a reliable way to apply armor shred, and calls frequent assists. She's the first character with the Mandalorian tag, and this update will also add this tag to several existing characters. Mirroring the Armorer's role in the show, she repairs and rebuilds the armor of her allies to even be stronger in game. This means she restores protection, thematically the armor for the characters in most cases, and applies some very strong buffs for the duration of the encounter. When the Armorer reforges her allies' armor, the Beskar armor buff sticks around even if she is defeated. The Armorer keeps the squad fighting by restoring 40% protection to any ally the first time they drop below 60% health. The Armorer uses Beskar ingots to apply different levels of Beskar armor buff to allies. Okay. So it's basically just going into like kind of the more intricacies of the character. But I mean, overall, I think that they did a good job with the character. I think it's cool that they added this character. I just, again, find it kind of weird that they chose now to add a character that wasn't in season 2 at all. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. The methodology, it's weird. I mean, like, hopefully there's more stuff coming. I mean, but, also, I mean, I thought it was kind of weird the amount of screen time that we had from certain characters this season in general. Like, I mean, didn't you think that we were going to see, that we were going to see Apollo Creed a little bit more than we did this season. I think he was in one episode for like 10 seconds. Right? But
yeah, I think he's what was he? He was like a mayor or something of that town.
yeah, now he's just like in charge of that town.
Yeah, then Cara Dune is a marshal.
Grief Karga, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the armor.
Yeah, I thought the armor got killed in the end of season 1. That's why.
I don't think she did. No, she didn't. She was cleaning up after the rest of them were killed.
She was busting ass at the end of that season. I mean, she was like,
Oh, she kicked some serious butt.
I think they were pretty much showing us that she could take all those guys on by herself. Is what they were doing.
Yeah, she wasn't just an armorer. She was a kick-ass Mandalorian.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, man. There was a piece of me that wanted. I was really thinking that the armor was actually Sabine. You know, and maybe that might still be the case, but but you're right that she fought like, you know, I mean, she's definitely trained and very Sabine-esque in my opinion.
That's an interesting take. I've never thought of that,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. You're pretty sure she died. No, she did not die. She
She didn't die.
definitely kicked butt at the end there, and she was destroying those people. I mean, I understand how you could think that, though. I mean, the way they left it off, like they kind of left while she was in the middle of a battle and with overwhelming odds, for sure. But I think what they were showing you there is that she doesn't need any help and she can handle herself. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, like she's not just an armorer. She can kick butt too. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why everybody listens to her. It's not like she's just got this position of power with that particular cult because, you know, she's just able to forge armor, you know, but I think she's going to be a more important character for the show. She's going to come back again at some point, I think. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. But listen, you know, if Boba Fett survived, she definitely survived, okay? Unless you see the corpse on screen, they're still alive in Star Wars, as far as I'm concerned. You gotta see the physical corpse on screen, you know. That definitely leaves the door for her to return. I mean, that's too cool of a character, too mysterious of a character for them to just die off screen like that. I don't think they're gonna do that. You know, I mean, they're gonna want us to kind of find out more about, you know, her history and what the hell's going on there. I do think, however, there's going to be an issue with the fact that Mando is now, like, you know, domesticated, right? He's taking his mask off like everybody else. She's not going to be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? She's going to say that the other people, like, she's going to say that Bo-Katan is not really a Mandalorian.
Yeah, we don't know what the relationship is with her and Bo-Katan. So,
Right.
obviously Bo-Katan doesn't like their sect or their cult or whatever, you know. She called them, they're just a religious group. You know, the Children of the Watch, right? They called them that, and she kind of was condescending to Mando about it. So I'm curious to see who else is in that group. And you know, there were all those other Mandalorians in the Enclave with her, right? In the you know, in that scene. So I mean, the heavy gunner and the other soldiers and the other Mandalorian, you know, people in their outfits that hang out with the armorers. So curious to see what happened to them. I mean, maybe they'll make their way into the game somehow, and then you can build like an Imperial Trooper-esque team with like 4 specific Mandalorian soldiers or something like that, right? And the armor's leading them. So that would be kind of fun.
I think we're going to get an old man Boba Fett at some point. I mean, that is definitely on tap. I mean, even though Boba Fett looks exactly the same, they could add some newer abilities, and also, you know, this Boba Fett now is way more badass than the original Boba Fett, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they added like. Like crime underlord, you know, crime overlord Boba Fett at some point. Now that he's in charge of Boba's palace, now that he's in charge of Jabba's palace. So
Yeah, I mean Jabba's army, or whatever's left of it.
yeah, well, we'll find out more about that like towards the show. But I think that he's not going to have a Mandalorian tag anyway, in all likelihood. So that probably won't matter. But as far as this synergy is concerned, but I think that we're gonna, as far as like characters from the show that we haven't gotten yet, I think we're definitely getting Bo-Katan, and that's probably closer sooner rather than later. I think Bo-Katan is going to be in the game, and I don't think it's going to be her Clone Wars version. I think it's going to look like the character from the show, and then I think that we'll get possibly maybe even Bill Burr's character. I think we'll get another version of Boba Fett. I also think that maybe we could possibly see another one of these Mandalorian characters. Maybe what was the name of that character? That girl that was with her, that other girl. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
She was fighting with Boba
I forgot
Fett.
her name.
She was fighting with Boba Fett when they first got together. But they were part of like her group too.
I forgot her name.
Well,
yeah.
they're the new like Death Watch, right? That's what they.
Pretty much, yeah. The new watch. Well, you saw the body of yes, you did see the body of Maul when Obi-Wan killed him in Rebels. Yes. But I mean, but that's because Maul is definitely dead after that. And it's Fennec. That was she were talking about. Fennec is the name of that character. Yes, we could see Fennec in.
Well, she's the bounty hunter. She's the sniper.
Right.
Wasn't
Right. No.
Yeah.
Oh, we were calling her Fenrod. It's Fennec. That's right. Okay. Yes, it's Fennec. Is the character that was with Boba Fett.
correct.
Right. Yeah. Fennec.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's Ming Na.
Yeah, Fennec would be somebody that I could see coming into the game also. So I think Fennec we could get. We could possibly get Bill Burr's character. I don't remember his name. Although that episode was one of the best episodes of the season, to be honest with you. I like that episode. Obviously, there's always a shot at us getting Ahsoka again at some point, which... so many awesome things from this season. I mean, like, I look back on it now and I think to myself, like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that we got, like, live-action Ahsoka, live-action Bo-Katan, we got the return of Boba Fett, and we got Luke Skywalker. All in like 5 episodes, right? Like, I mean, just the most ridiculous. I mean, they couldn't have dialed it up to 10 any faster. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just literally just like, anybody who was like, looking for some real awesome Star Wars stuff got it like in spades over the last half of the season. So, I mean, just super awesome. Anyway, I'm gushing about a show. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about a character. So
they could even bring Frog Lady. She could do things to protect her eggs or something.
Being the way they decide to pick some of these characters in the game, I wouldn't be surprised if all we got was Frog Lady.
Yeah, I know.
We don't get any.
I was kind of surprised she was actually in what, 2 episodes. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't. We probably won't get Boba Fett. We won't get Bo-Katan. We will get Frog Lady and her eggs. But I'm honestly, between you and you guys, honestly, I'm starting to think that we're not going to see Grogu again on the show. Maybe not for a while. I don't think he'll be a regular character on the show anymore.
Right.
I think that's.
I don't think so.
I think,
and it's sad because it's such a great pairing that I think even Disney or the screenwriters or anybody never imagined that it would take off the way it did.
Mike Yench, I don't think we'll see that version of Luke because that's too close to the Jedi Knight Luke, right? If it wasn't, that's very. I mean, I'm not saying that we'll never get another version of Luke besides the ones that we already have. There's a chance that we could get because if they continue the story between Grogu and Luke at some point, then we could get a different Luke. Yes, but the hooded Luke, I think that once he's basically Jedi Knight Luke. That's like
hooded Luke with Force Crush.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. I mean, those really cool. I don't know. when he did that with the Force Crush, I literally like almost deuced in my pants. You know, I was like, oh my God, they're doing this. You know, he's like sitting there like, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know about Luke. I don't think that's going to happen right away. I think that's too close. Plus, we've already gotten 2 Lukes in the last 12 months. I mean, we no Luke for 5 years, 2 Lukes in the last 12 months. I think we're done with Luke for a little while. You know, but I mean, it's not out of the realm possibility down the road. I do think that Baby Yoda, though, it was created here for us to know the character, so that when they create future content about Baby Yoda and Luke, I think that this was like our jumping off point where we got to find out about like who the character is, if that makes any sense. You know, so basically, they introduced the character to us. They gave us, just a little bit so that we know a backstory. We know he was from the Jedi Temple. He met Ahsoka. He met the Mandalorian. He met Bo-Katan. He met he met all these people along the way. He got trained by Luke Skywalker. So like now you have like a pretty cool backstory for a new version of Yoda, right? Like it's basically, we don't know his heritage still. They're not going to explain that, but. What we do know is that he was a Mandalorian. He's one of Yoda's race who's already like highly Force sensitive. He was trained in the Jedi Temple. He escaped Order 66, and now he was trained by Luke Skywalker afterwards. I think that's the makings of like a really awesome futuristic legacy character that they could.
I think that's something that I think they're going to have down the road, possibly a new series or something.
I think
kind of like bringing up baby.
well, the thing is that Grogu can live to like 1,000, right? So I mean, like they can literally now make like they have enough. With Grogu, they can literally pick up right where Rey and Luke and the Skywalker saga ends, and just start a new series of content about Grogu and his adventures, right? So and he was literally trained by Luke, the final last Jedi Master. So he could actually continue the school at some point on his own, and they could create a new character that isn't tied to a specific person, right? So the interesting thing there is, right, when you tie a character to somebody like Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill or whatever, they get old, right? And then at some point, it's like, you have to move on.
Yeah.
Right? Grogu never can get old. They can continue to use Grogu forever. They can use any voice actor that they want and just continue the story of Grogu even after whoever plays Grogu passes away, right? Because they could just have, also it's a lot easier to use a CGI character and then just dub in a voice than it is to actually try to create content for like Carrie Fisher when she's not really there. You know what I mean? So
well, in a sense, I mean, Disney will have a guaranteed around 1,000 years with Grogu. So if they're around that long.
I wanna believe that when they come out with this Ahsoka series, I'm hoping that they continue where Ahsoka left off in Mandalorian. I have I'm hoping that they don't do the backstory of Ahsoka. Like kind of like Ahsoka from Rogue One through Return of the Jedi, right? So I'm hoping that they continue Ahsoka from Mandalorian on. And then they're searching for Thrawn or whatever they're doing, but then you have the cameos from Jedi Knight Luke and Grogu and maybe even Mando, shows up in an episode. And I think they've set it up pretty well where they could possibly do that. And then it would give the new fans and us, the hardcore fans, more screen time with Force Crush Luke and Grogu, right? But they're cameos in the Ahsoka series,
I think that's totally
and
a thing. Yeah.
And I think we're all waiting for Ahsoka to meet Luke, and we want to see that,
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree 100%. I think that's what they're doing. And honestly, if you were to ask me this question a year ago, before this season of The Mandalorian, and when I felt like maybe they were just still kind of catering towards the other, like when they were trying to do something different, like with like Last Jedi style and all that stuff, I feel like that would have never happened, right? But now, with what I saw this season in The Mandalorian, I feel like that anything is possible, right? Because like I mean, you know, it's like anything that I thought, because I would have thought to myself like, no way they're ever bringing back Luke Skywalker, no way they're bringing back Boba Fett, no way they're bringing Ahsoka onto live action with the show, because these all seem like just fan theories, right? Like when they're like, oh, Ahsoka's coming into live action in The Mandalorian because Dave Filoni's an executive producer on the show. Like that does not mean shit, right? Like they, you know, like they could just say like, no, you know, this is a totally different story. They could have done that, but no. They decided to give us exactly what we wanted. They gave us every fan theory that we could have ever hoped for. I mean, you know, even when we were talking about who that Jedi could be that Ahsoka mentioned that could possibly come if Grogu summons the Jedi, you know, our two thoughts were Ezra or Luke, right? And I mean, it makes sense, but you would think to yourself, like, no way they're going to give us that. They're going to give us some random other Jedi that just like nobody ever heard of, and they're going to bring into. But no, they gave us Luke Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, the fact is that they could totally. Now that I've seen this, anything is possible. I mean, they could totally do that. They could. You know, now I'm thinking they could finally bring us like some old school stuff. They could finally bring us, you know, some Knights of the Old Republic stuff at some point. Who knows? I mean, there is so much untapped potential with this IP. You know what I'm saying? That they could reach with older stories they can pluck from. They could literally make their own history of the Jedi and the Sith. That's what people want to see. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I want to see this stuff play out in live action. Like I want to see Valkorion in live action. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Revan. You know, I want to see these stories of how the Jedi and the Sith started, you know, before Palpatine and all that. They could do prequels. I mean, they could do so much stuff. And then now they've also set up, like you said, I mean, a storyline for Grogu, you know, for the next 1,000 years. And they've also set up a kind of a show universe, like Loki's saying, where they can have the Boba Fett show, they can have the Mandalorian, and they can have Ahsoka's show, and they can all literally do cameos on each other's shows, and eventually have like a team up, show where all of them kind of team up to fight.
It's like it's like the Avengers, man. Everybody has their own movie.
Like the Avengers, yeah.
Yeah, and they could all team up to fight Thrawn, and then we could find out what happened to Ezra. I think that's what they're doing, man. I don't think this. I think the end of the, and again, this is just another fan theory. It's like, oh, they're going to finish up the Ezra story and Sabine story on live action, right? Like that's what everybody was saying. And I was like, no way, it's just going to be another cartoon 10 years from now or something. But now I'm really starting to think maybe there's something to that. I thought that Filoni was going to stay in animation, right? Like I thought for sure Filoni's going to stay in animation and he's going to leave the movie stuff to other people. But no, it seems like Filoni's kind of crossing over into that, like he's going to be like, you know, kind of like Kevin Feige type area where he may be like kind of running all of the Star Wars content stuff, and he may have his hand in cartoons and shows and everything. And if that's what happens ultimately, that would be the best thing that ever happened to Star Wars, because he is the man. Right. He is the man. He needs to be the one. He cares very much about the IP. He wants to be true to the fans about it. He cares very much about George Lucas and the original story he was trying to tell. And if we're ever going to get any semblance of an explanation as to what he was going to do down the road with midichlorians and all these other things, I think, you know, maybe it might be a little bit different than what was originally intended, but I think Filoni will be able to find a way to do it, and do it in a smart way, right? Where it's not just like being done for the sake of doing it. Like he finds, like even if you look through The Mandalorian, like all the stuff that they do, all the fan service that they do, they don't just do it like gratuitously. They do it in a smart way, which comes off like it's not too much, right? It's just enough, you know, and that to me is awesome. You know, they're not like overdoing it. Yes, you're allowed to answer, Finity. Yeah. You would. Yeah, of course. Anybody who, if they came out with Luke Skywalker Force Cross action, absolutely, I would do a live unboxing.
Hell yeah!
Do a live unboxing right here on the channel. Force Crush action, Luke Skywalker. I am all in. He better have the Kung Fu grip. You know.
Kung Fu grip, yeah.
You better have the Kung Fu grip. Yeah, they need to re-release that Boba Fett toy with the missile that comes out of his backpack. That's like impossible to find. That's worth $1 billion. Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see. Overall, I feel like The armorer character is interesting, and she brings a lot to the table. It's just like you said, there's something missing, and I think that we're gonna kind of get that fleshed out. Anytime that we've seen this in the past, where they release a character and it feels like something's missing, like when they released Revan, and Revan was good, but we're like, wait, there has to be something else. You know, there just needs to be something else. There is, you know, and it's Darth Malak, you know, and then that just completes the puzzle, right? So I kind of feel like there's another piece here to complete this puzzle, and maybe it won't be a Mandalorian, maybe it'll be something else, but something else will be added to this faction that brings her more synergy. I mean, just with looking at the characters that they try to synergize her with, you're looking at like Rey and Luke Skywalker. I mean, they literally picked every generic synergy you could ever imagine on that content sheet, right? Like when you look at it, it's like, you know, like let's look at this.
Yeah. But if she specializes with Mandalorians, then that's what she needs to be with. And so they need to bring in more tunes or provide more tunes that have the Mandalorian tag, so we can have a viable team that we can play with without having to strip for other teams and use crappy tunes like Gar Saxon and Commandos. So,
like, if you look here, you can see the Mandalorian, Beskar Armor, and Sabine Wren, and then it's Rey, Jedi Master Luke, and Wat Tambor. I think those last three you could just take off the screen and just call it TBD, right? Like, to be determined, right? Like, so I'm not saying that they don't synergize. I'm sure they have some synergy there. But those characters synergize with, like, everybody, right? I mean, like, they're, you know, galactic legends. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, you can literally just throw them in a team, you know, with, like, 4 scoundrels, and you're still going to win some battles. Right, you know what I mean? So now maybe I'm being a little bit crazy here, but I mean, I do think that there's more characters coming to complete the synergy for her. So I think that, you know, maybe we're not seeing the best of the armor yet, intentionally. Like, I think that there's probably more coming here, and I think that this was probably content that we already saw mapped out prior to the success of The Mandalorian Season 2. I mean, obviously, they probably knew that The Mandalorian Season 2 was going to be good, but at the end of the day, like, they don't really know. Like, from my experience with Capital Games, when, you know, we went to the studio and we talked about, like, their inspiration behind creating characters, I know that there are some characters that they're told by Disney that they have to create, right? Like, there's certain characters that they have to make. But there's also a lot of their own decision making, like who they want to bring into the game, etc. And that those decisions are made after the content is out, right? So they are kind of watching the movie and finding out about these characters for the first time, like we are, when the content drops. So when they see, you know, The Last Jedi, they're now taking a look at that movie and saying, okay, who can we create for the game from this? So they're probably taking a look now at all the Mandalorian content and saying, okay, what are we going to, you know, drop? And then they have to create the character, create the artwork, get it approved by Lucasfilm, then create the abilities, and it has to make sense. Like, the character abilities have to match the character. So I wouldn't be surprised if right now they're working on, you know, like I said, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, or something like that to release as either an event or a marquee character somewhere in the not-so-distant future. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But the other thing... Let's go back to this. So we had the game update, right? And that brought the character in. We got the new tag. Not much other news besides that they fixed the background music in the home screen and pre-battle areas. Do you think that the new music that we have in the game now is going to stay, or do you think they're going to go back to the original music again at some point?
Honestly, I don't know. I turned it off because it was really annoying.
I think they actually took it out already, honestly.
Oh, did they? I might have to check it. At one point, I was hearing the Mandalorian theme, which that wasn't a problem, but it's that weird other music that they had that was right at a pitch that made me want to, you know, I felt like a rabid dog.
It was Mandalorian. All that stuff is from the Mandalorian, right? But it's like from different parts of the show. Like one of them, like the one when you're in the lobby or, you know, in the main cantina, it's just like it's straight up like like from one of the Grogu scenes like in the show. It's I think like when he's meeting Ahsoka or something like that. It's like it's not like a theme song or anything. It's just like a song that was created for the Mandalorian, I think.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, but there was just some of it where I felt like a rabid dog that wanted to chew through something because it was so annoying. So I ended up just turning off the music, and I'm feeling much better, by the way, because of it.
So let's go to oh, it backed me out. Let's go back into the game here, and I will pull up the characters with the Mando tag, and I just want to get your opinion, Loki, on what you think is the best squad to run with the armor right now, if you had to pick one. I mean, obviously, like I said, there's possibly some stuff coming down the road, but I mean, right now, if you were to run the best team with her, what do you think? Where do you think she would work best? Or do you think she even has a team really to run for, Arena or Grand Arena or TW?
No, I think she's. So the problem is, bring up that Mandalorian tag, bring up the screen. I believe she doesn't have a tank. That's the issue. So to make a squad,
there you go.
For Squad Arena or anything like that, it's very early. I mean, those are just basically all attackers at that point. And she's a support, but her lead is kind of interesting. It's very it's like Bastila. Like, I think all Mandalorians gain 200% protection up or something like that for whatever X amount of turns. So that's kind of cool. It helps buff up Beskar Mando a little bit, so he can sit there and do his thing and get the whistling birds, whirling birds, or the hell it's called, going. But the original Mandalorian, he can't get to payout, so he's almost useless. Garth Saxon and I like Super Commando, honestly, just because he'll call to assist, he'll do his thing. But again, those two units are Empire, and they have no other synergies other than the Mandalorian tag. But again, their kits are very Empire specific. Canderous is probably a good pick. So it's like it'd be like armor lead with Beskar Mando, Canderous as your two attackers probably. And then at that point, Jango Fett's kind of out of place. If you were going to put Jango Fett, behind any leader, it has to be a separatist leader. So his payout gets activated right away. The armor has no payout synergies or anything like that. So I can see Sabine Wren maybe working a little bit. So, I mean, again, our team would be armor, Beskar Mando, Canderous Ordo, and Sabine Wren, because she just does armor shred. And the armor shred will help get the Beskar armored pieces on top of the armor, so you can spread them around.
So you'd have to probably get like some generic tank, right, to throw in there.
You have to get a generic tank. Yeah, I mean, you could throw, I don't know, Jedi Master Luke or something behind. I mean, I don't know. It's super incomplete right now. None of the bounty hunters, I think, have good synergy with her, simply because they just can't get to payout.
Yeah.
But it's too early to tell right now. Like, they need that Mandalorian heavy gunner, tank thing with taunt and all that.
Well, if Garth Saxon was a better tank, he could really not taunt.
I don't think he taunts, right? I mean,
yeah. He doesn't taunt, but he's a tank.
That's his problem.
That's
Melissa.
I mean, you can do Wat Tambor, right? So let's think about this. I actually like your idea, Abby, because then we can go armor lead with Wat Tambor, right? Then we throw Garth Saxon. What is that? That's 3 tunes. Then Beskar Mando, and maybe Sabine or Super Commando, and you put or Canderous, yeah, and then you put Shield Tech on Garth Saxon, and then
that could work.
He could taunt, but
I think Canderous might have some potential on this team. I want to check now that I have it at 7 stars. I can kind of test it and see, because I think if you do right by Canderous, man, he's freaking awesome.
He does. He hits hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
and frequently.
Yeah, but listen, no, Gar Saxon's not bad. Not bad at all. And Mike Yanchi, I am going to buy the pack. I know. I'm going to buy the pack. Yeah, I missed out.
Saxon and Super Commando, I think they're kind of like a diamond in the rough because their ship is actually very good.
Yes.
In arena, and that's why you geared them up. If you just needed a side project and you needed that ship, the Gauntlet is just amazing.
Well, I wish that Gamorrean Guard kind of fit in that faction a little bit more because, he's so awesome. He is just so awesome. Just having a big green pig in there would be perfect. Grease him up a bit, have him chase him, have the enemies chase him a bit, and then the rest of the team can just blast away the enemy. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Canderous seems like it's Canderous seems like he's probably a beneficial character. Plus, like she's saying here, he's got other synergies as well. I'm just saying, when you're looking at these characters and you're trying to decide who to invest in, right? Because they have some benefit for you. You can't be looking at only their benefit for working with the armorer, right? Because the armorer is not really a very viable character at the moment. But Ordo is probably a character that you could level up and not feel bad about because he's got other synergies that really make him work as well. He works good with. He works good with the rest of those, Old Republic characters in general. You know what I mean? So you can use him in other squads. You can use Sabine. But Sabine definitely needs a rework in some way, I think, for sure. Gar Saxon has also some other synergies. I don't know if you guys are really using a lot of, secondary Empire teams, but... he does have a benefit there as well as like a secondary Empire character if you're somebody who's looking for, some back end teams to fill, or really just a team to, I don't know. I mean, where do you think Gar Saxon's viability? Like if you were going to use Gar Saxon to counter another team, where do you think you could use him right now?
Oh God.
Nothing in Division 1, man. I'll tell you that.
He
might be a good Division 3 team.
I was thinking Division 8. But he has the potential to be really good. They just fell short of the mark. They just really fell short with it.
That's what he needs. He needed a taunt.
Yeah, mine's like G12. I mean, all my Mandos are at least G12, but...
Melissa's saying Empire team with Piet. Piet. I mean, you have a pretty good Piet.
Yeah, I mean, I can try it. It's a cool idea.
Abby loves Piet.
Oh, yeah, you betcha. Yeah, I think mine's R7.
Your Piet is not complete, Abby, unless you have Gar Saxon, Relic 7.
Yeah. I'll have to try that just for fun.
Relic 7, Gar Saxon. Okay, and then get back to us. Let us know what you think. You should do the dirty work for everyone else. Just so
all right, I'll put him on the back burner as one of the projects I'll do.
And one of your your not so important on one of your not so important accounts. Just level up Gar Saxon to Relic 7, and then we'll do some testing.
Yeah, well, I'm way down on accounts, so the rest of that I have are pretty important.
Yeah.
Although right now I'm getting massacred in-game chat, calling me whale. We love sea animals, all that stuff, because I took armor up to 7 stars. But it didn't take me very many pulls because I got some really good pulls. So,
yeah, I noticed that too. I got, what is it? Is it 120 or the 140 pull? I got one of those.
Oh, nice.
And,
I got 250s.
Yeah.
I think I got like a 20 something and some 12s 15.
That's the only
like
reason
that.
that's the only reason I just went for her, because when they give you the one big pull, you're just kind of like, oh man, now I have to finish it.
Yeah.
But the pulls have been really good the last, I don't know, like, I don't know, toward the second half of 2020, like when they started, like the best card Mando tunes, right? Like I needed IG-11 and Quill, and like the pulls on that, I was buying that 350 crystal pack, and I was getting like 50 Quill, 50 IG-11. I was like,
Wow.
wow, like what the hell's happening here? They're making the shard pulls a lot better than they were, 3 years ago.
They really need to, because because I had on like a little ticket alt that I have, there was a tune, and I can't even remember what tune it was. It took me 10 and a half months to get it to 7 stars. And that was completely free to play and just bad polls, really bad polls. And it was like, that really stinks when you're concentrating on one tune and that's all you get after 10 and a half months for one tune.
I think they're they're giving us better drops because they know now that, we have relics now, right? So, I mean, why they want us to 7-star these tunes, because the next level of that is obviously Gear 13 and relics, and they're obviously making their bank on that.
But it's time that they've kind of fast-tracked some of that stuff, because there's so many people starting the game that people want to play with us up at the very top that have been here forever. But, it's still going to be a very, very, very long road, but at least it will help them get there a little bit faster instead of waiting years to do it, because God knows how long the game might actually last. So
Urban Blaster has a masterful Gar Saxon, I'm sure, for sure.
He was the first one ever, man, that I knew of. I mean, I have a Relic 5 Gar Saxon too, but that was all recent. That dude did it day one, I think. Like that was his first. That was his first Relic tune. Like
that was like his dude. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
No, I get it.
Do you remember so first episode of season 2 Mando, right? When they showed the Marshal. Mm-hmm. I honestly thought that was Gar Saxon at first. I was like, man, that's Gar Saxon. Look at him. He looks identical, man.
Oh my God, that's what reminded me of.
That would have made total sense for him to be Gar Saxon, yeah.
Yeah, now that I look at Gar Saxon's picture, it's like that makes perfect sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was talking about this with Abby before. Like that is such a cool actor that played that character that I was so surprised that we didn't see him again the entire season. Like I mean, like that guy is an awesome actor. You know what I'm saying? He's in like lots of stuff. He's in like lots of movies.
So he was in that TV show. He was in Justified, I think. Tiffany
Oliphant,
right?
Timothy Oliphant, yeah.
And then he was in Hitman. Like that was the big one.
Oh yeah,
He was in Hitman. He was in Live Free, Die Hard. He was in.
Yep, he was the villain in that. Yep.
And he's also in a bunch of different other movies that are like and TV shows and stuff like that. So he's been around a while. Jasa, why did you pick the name Jasa in the first place? Melissa's a pretty name. Jasa's... You see, I am Ramona Zob in real life. I am Ramona Zob on the internet. Okay? And I understand that everybody has a different thought process behind this. I understand that everybody wants to have their own names. But I personally think that, I want people to know... me. I feel like there's... the problem is with my name, Ramona Zob, there's not a lot of Ramona Zobs out there, right? So, it's pretty easy to nail me down, right? You just got to do a little research, and you can find my front doorstep, So I guess that's that's part of it. I mean, so if I ever blew up to the point where I had 1 million subscribers or something like that on YouTube, probably be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's all right. Listen, at the end of the day, if you really get that big anyway. They all know who you are in real life. They know your real name at that point anyway. So it's not like, everybody knows who, PewDiePie's real name is and where he lives and all that stuff, So at the end of the day, he also had, but what I'm saying is Ray Rock said, let me say, yeah, he said that that he had the Relic 5 Gar Saxon. So we should ask him. Is he still playing?
Yeah, he was still playing.
Yeah, he says Urban Blaster. I haven't seen him in a while. You know, I used to like those videos, man. The ones where we made the munchies and stuff, and he'd make these the food.
Yeah, gamer fuel, man.
Gamer fuel, yeah. You know.
Yep. He made the Choco Taco, like deep fried Choco Taco, or he did something with it, and yeah, he did some good stuff, man.
Yeah. My kids' names are Jacob, Abby, and Emma, and I've used JCBM for emails like 15. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, it's interesting how like people come up with their names sometimes. It's fascinating.
I tried to think of an online name for myself, and I just, what am I going to call myself? Like, super duper awesome dude. I mean, like, I couldn't think of like anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm sitting there thinking, like, these guys, they come up with cool names. You know what I mean? Like, Sir Loki, that's a cool name. You know what I mean? Personally, I wouldn't be able to think of something like that. You know what I mean? My name would be like, like Devastator, or like, like something really.
So you're named after a Transformer? Is that what you're?
I'm saying my name. If I picked a fake name for myself, I would look like a tool bag, right? So I just decided that rather than become a tool bag by picking some really tooly name, I would just be Ramona's app.
There's a lot of tooly names out there. They're really. Oh, Justin, shh. But with mine, it's actually the main character in my books that I write. So, and I use the names of some of my characters for other accounts. So,
yeah,
sweet.
It makes sense. Yeah, but I used to use when I did have one tag a long time ago. I used to use the tag Savior. That was my name, Savior. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's when I was. I thought of myself as to be a lot more of an important person. You know what I'm saying? But no, that was. I used to use like Savior. I used to use like Savior 420. I think was my old tag. But this is my old like. But I never was really like a big. Honestly, this game was my first like real foray into like online like community gaming. You know what I'm saying? I never was like.
Oh, wow, really?
I was never like really like a World of Warcraft guy or anything like that before this, which is weird, right? Because a lot of the people that I play this game with when I first started were people that came from WoW, right? So it was like they were like, "Oh, you never played that?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I just, love Star Wars." And one day, before The Force Awakens was coming out, like around Thanksgiving, I decided to download this cool new game, and I was just playing it at my job every day. And then I thought to myself, like, man, it'd be really cool if I knew other people that play this game, So I went online and looked on YouTube, and I found Jedi Master Alon, actually originally, watching his videos, and he used to do like the patch notes all the time. So I used to watch him like getting haircuts and taking baths and stuff like that, just talking about the patch notes. Like he used to literally read the patch notes to us and talk about the game like while he was getting haircuts and stuff, And then he was such an asshole. but he was an awesome asshole. I loved him. And then I got to know him actually, like personally. And then I was watching Skunk actually, and I started coming on Skunk's show as like a co-host, and then eventually started my own channel. Because Skunk wouldn't let me post on the Lord Skunk channel. Yeah, that's actually how that happened. Yeah, sort of Christ. I said, listen. I said,
oh, the stories we can relay about that era.
I was thinking, like, I was like, hey, listen, man, I'm thinking about making my own videos. How about I just post them on the Lord Skunk channel? He's like, oh, listen, man, you got to make a few videos before you start posting on my channel. I was like, okay. I was like, no problem. I'll create my own channel. So I created my own channel. I became a game changer. And then he starts hitting me up, asking me to start posting videos on his channel, And I was like, no. I was like, you didn't want me. Now I'm not interested. Now I'm going to make videos for... Why would I make videos for your channel and my channel now? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, that's how it works.
You call people like that like spicy friends, man. So they leave a little spice in your mouth and it goes away. So
yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I'll tell you a funny story real quick. Is recently Ranger, so Ranger and I have started streaming our GACs all the time because Ranger's now co-host for the GA Center, for the Grand Arena Center, with Nev, and one of his opponents was actually Smithy D, and we actually had Smithy on.
Oh yeah.
with Ranger, and
Is
we
he
were just
still
like,
around?
he has 2 Galactic Legends, man. He has more Galactic Legends than Ramon right now, man.
Wow.
So he's still playing. He's obviously casual, but he does have 2 Galactic Legends, and it was just the funniest stream ever.
How did he get 2
you know.
Galactic Legends? Did he spend like crazy for a little bit?
I don't know. Maybe he hoarded. Maybe he he was, but he's obviously playing. And him and Ranger went at it, and it was funny because they were both playing their GACs at the same time. Not on screen. We had Ranger's screen, but Smithy was doing it as, like you can see them battling, right? Your team. So Ranger had the Smithy D's fighting, one of my squads, and then all of a sudden you'd see Smithy like, preload a team or fail, right? And then we'd all be laughing and it was very reminiscent of when, Smithy was the man, right? At one time for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Everybody liked to watch his streams. We were just kind of reminiscing, but at the same time, enjoying the new content, with an old content creator, right? Which is fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's
yeah.
And you and I mean, you too, Reemon, like we used to be on Smithy's stream and mess around and have fun with that guy. So it's
Smithy's great, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just legendary. I think he opened a lot of doors for people, to start doing this content creation stuff. And
Listen,
it's good. It's good that he's still around again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
I know he took a break for quite a while.
When me and Arnold T101, we both got into the Game Changer program the same week, right? Like he messaged me saying, like we spoke, and he had gotten a message from Jesse, and then I spoke with Jesse, like I think like a few days later, and got the invite to the event at the studio, and then we just started talking. But back then, like we had like very similar channels, like we both had like a couple thousand subs, and it was like But I mean, he obviously blew up like crazy. Like kept making. I mean, he makes like an immense amount of content. You know what I'm saying? Like he makes content all the time. So it's a tough job, man. Being a YouTuber, you got to do a lot of work. If you really want to continue to grow your channel and be relevant, like you have to make videos every day. You have to do a lot of editing. And he got to the point where he was able to like go and like edit like a couple of videos. Like I guess he got a good system, because he's also like studied to be a lawyer. I mean, like he's a very pro guy. Like he's a proactive guy. Like he's one of those guys that just goes out and gets shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, like he'll go and like, get the equipment that he needs. He'll learn how to do it, and then he'll learn how to do it faster. So like now, if I wanted to edit a video, it would take me like, especially with some of those like intros I used to do and things like that, it would take me like hours. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like with him, he could probably edit the video in a half hour, 40 minutes and just be done with it. You know what I'm saying? So and it would be like 10 times more involved or intricate and better looking than my video. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. Guys, in a couple of minutes, we're going to just answer any of the questions that are in the chat. So if anybody has any questions or topics that they'd like to discuss, type them into the chat now, and we'll scoop them up and answer them before we wrap up the stream. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, any topics, any questions, type them into the chat now. This is the Q&A segment of the show.
Yep.
Not like we haven't been interacting so far, but anyway, there was one I saw here where she says, has anyone had any luck with a Queel team? From Jason.
It has to be specifically modded a certain way and certain turn order, and I haven't quite done that yet, but I've been having fun with what I've been using it for. Definitely.
Let's see.
Yeah, I've been using Quill with just like Galactic Legend Ray or something like that, or you can do the Beskar Mando team. I think when it came out, everybody was looking for counters and stuff like that. The issue with that team now that we're finding out is it's easily beatable with CLS, in 5v5, and it's the other counter, like the hard counter for it is bounty hunters. So like Bosk bounty hunters, where you basically just pop the payout and then the original Mandalorian just starts disintegrating everybody because the team just doesn't do enough damage. It's from what we're finding out, the Beskar Mando team with Quill, IG-11, all that stuff is You know, it's like a timeout team. It strips banners like kind of it's easily beatable. I save Quill and IG-11 for like a Ray team. I think that's still, you know, pretty good.
So my Wu-Tang name is Iron Toad Hard.
Iron Toad Heart. Oh my God.
That's my Wu-Tang name. I did that. I went to the Wu-Tang name generator, and my name is Iron Toad Hard. So,
that's funny.
yeah.
Oh, one scoundrel team I think is worth trying is try like a BAM lead, Beskar Mando lead with Han, Chewie, Quill, and IG-11. I think that team's a little bit better than just full Mandalorian scoundrels. So at least you have some offense and you have some disruption from Han and Chewie. Those would be pretty fun.
That makes sense. Ray Rock has a question, I guess, for Gom, but I mean, we can discuss it here. What's your 3v3 Mon Mothma combo? He called her Mon Mothra, though.
Yep.
What do you guys use Mon Mothma in? Do you guys use Mon Mothma in 3v3s?
I don't, because I don't have the mods to make that team super fast, which is what it needs.
Okay.
So I kind of put her on the back burner for now. Oh, and I need to work on Pow. I need to get Pow up there, Relic. I don't have him up there yet.
Yeah, Mike Andrews saying that his Mon Mothma grind is rough. Yeah, Mon Mothma is a tough grind for sure. Her shard drop rate is like absolutely ridiculous. It's gross. I feel like it's almost on purpose. Like they just drip feed you Mon Mothma shards.
Oh God, yeah.
He said you got Chewie and 3PO to Gear 13 and Relic 6. Good for you. Congrats, man. Epic confrontation to get Mando with Mandos to get Maul. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't think so. I think if we got another version of Maul, it would probably be Spider Legs Maul. I think we'd get Spider Legs Maul at some point.
I just want the I'd want the Maul at the end of Solo. You know, Scoundrel Maul. You know, the Syndicate Maul. You know,
that would be cool too. That would probably be cooler. But I think if they were going to ever go with another version of Maul, the Spider Legs Maul would make a lot of sense, right?
He had Meccano legs in at the end of Solo, but it wasn't the Spider Legs one.
No, he had Meccano legs even in Rebels. So when he's you just you don't know because you can't see them, right? But I mean. Star Wars is.
No, he was sitting on a throne. They showed his body in at the end of Solo.
Well, no, I know. But what I'm saying is, even in Rebels, he's ever since the Phantom Menace. I mean, he's had robot legs. I mean, those are all robot. I mean, even in Rebels when he's fighting.
Yeah.
He has robot legs, but you can't see because he's wearing pants, right? Like you can't see his legs.
Right.
Sure.
But I mean, same thing in Solo. Yeah, he has his robo legs there too. But I'm saying like something that would make him stand out would be the spider legs. But honestly, yeah, I mean, if we got like an old man Maul, like the one from Rebels or from Solo, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome also.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's see here.
Man, wouldn't it be cool in that new Kenobi series if they actually ran into Maul? And then Maul and Anakin actually meet.
Oh,
because I don't think they ever met, right?
No.
Like Maul didn't even want to meet Anakin, like he knew,
That's interesting.
He was like, screw this guy,
Well. Kathleen Kennedy said that Vader and Kenobi are going to have a confrontation somehow on the show. I don't know how that's going to work. Because he literally says in the confrontation on the Death Star, like before I was the learner, now I am the master, right? Like so he's saying like the last time they clearly haven't seen each other since Anakin's fall, right? So
it was since Kenobi took Luke to Tatooine, right? Like I believe Kenobi hasn't even left the planet. right? He stayed on Tatooine the
Right.
entire time, right?
But that's not
So-
what they're saying. I think on the show he's going to leave the planet. I think he's going to leave the planet on the show. I don't think it's all going to be on Tatooine, and I think that they're going to try to imply that, like, you know, that there is another meeting between him and Vader somewhere, and I don't see how that's possible without it, you know, messing up the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Who knows? He could have left the planet to go on a shopping trip or something. Who knows?
Well, what it could be, which would be really cool. I think we were talking. I think Loki was on when we had this discussion last time. Is if they do flashbacks, right? Like if they have, like, you know, if they have Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, like, literally go back to, like, when Anakin was, like, General Skywalker, and just have him, like, you know, they could do like a sparring match there, you know, and it could be awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that would be kind of cool. I mean, it doesn't have to have any implication. We know they're not going to die in the battle, right? Like, so I mean, at the end of the day, they could spar and it would still be just as cool, because I mean, we know the stakes are not changing, right? Like, even if somehow they were able to actually go to blows and Darth Vader fought Obi-Wan Kenobi before what happened, you know that they have to survive until that battle later on. So that's kind of what did it. That's kind of what ruined this. Not that I disliked the Solo movie. I liked the Solo movie, but what made it less interesting to me was, like, you know, there's no stakes, right? Like, you know that they're going to survive. You know everything's going to be okay. It's like it just seemed like to me, like, you know, the only stakes were for the other characters, like Woody Harrelson and you know, and there's other people in the story, and I didn't really care about them very much. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, it seemed like more of a filler movie rather than something that was kind of cool to watch. It was just kind of more of a filler. I thought that was my thing. But, you know, I was going to say, you know, if Kenobi left Tatooine to maybe go on a shopping trip, he could, you know, because he could go shopping because there's half off at the mall.
Yeah,
Get it?
I get it. I get it. That's funny.
Half off at the mall.
That's funny. Half off at the mall. That's funny.
Sale at the mall.
L3 did not survive. No, she died. The droids always get it, you know?
I like the droids better than some of the people, so I think they should have survived more.
L3 went down. We also had, what's his name? You know, from Rogue One.
I mean, everybody died, right?
Oh, K2SO. Yeah.
K2SO. K2SO, everybody from Rogue One died, yeah. So I mean, it's irrelevant, but that was actually, that's kind of why that movie's awesome, right? It's like they did not hold back at all with that. Like they could have made those people survive, but they were like, nope, complete annihilation.
Nope, nobody survives.
You know, complete annihilation. I like that Gareth Edwards has balls to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he did that with the Godzilla movie. You know, it took balls to, like, not show Godzilla for only like 2 minutes in the entire movie. You know what I'm saying? But, like, honestly, it worked the first time you see it. Every other time, can't watch it again. You know what I mean? But, like, the first time I saw it, the fact that they drip fed us Godzilla, you know, made it more like Jaws. You know, it was kind of like you don't see the shark until the end. You know, K2SO, yes. B. Morfett has a question. Says, I'm finishing up the requirements for my 3rd Galactic Legend now. Should I go straight into gearing for Sith Eternal Emperor or max out some other squads like Bounty Hunters, Scoundrels, and Mon Mothma Rebels?
Into gearing for C, is that like saving gear for your 4th GL, or is that your 3rd GL right now, but you're waiting to gear? So it's a little bit of confusing statements. But what I did was after I got my 3rd GL, then I just kind of took a little bit of a break. I worked a little bit on C, and then, but I concentrated on some other tunes, including the Mando, IG-88, or IG-11, Queel, Kara, Grief, those guys. I kind of concentrated more on those, but if I had a spare piece, then I threw it on C, for example, or saved it for them.
I mean, if you already have 3 Galactic Legends, and the 4th one or the final one would be Sith Eternal Emperor, I think you can probably start focusing on gearing some other teams and then come back around to C later on.
Oh, gearing tunes for C. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he means. He
It's
basically
nice.
he
Yeah,
said
it's nice to take a little bit of a break, honestly, by concentrating on some other stuff that not only that you want to concentrate on, but maybe your guild might need for example, like the light side territory battles or something, like a particular tune that might finish off a team. But it's totally up to you. If you want to continue the trek to finish off the C tunes to be able to get that one, hey, great. That's wonderful. I know that I had taken a little bit of a break and just concentrate on some other stuff, and then I came back to it and got it. So
if you're at the
that's
position
cool.
where you have 3 GLs, you're probably, I mean, I'm assuming the rest of your roster is pretty good, so you can really kind of go wherever you want. I would do what you feel.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, if you really like Sith Eternal Emperor and you want him, go for it. Absolutely. You know, I mean, start the process. You know, it's going to take a while to get there. But if there are other teams you want to work on, like Bounty Hunters, Scoundrels, things like that, because you want to use them for other things, then I think you can pass with all the guild-related content and all the TW and GA and all that stuff, all the arena stuff with those 3 Galactic Legends that you have. So you don't need to go for the 4th one, but bear in mind that at some point there will probably be 2 more Galactic Legends coming out, and then eventually there'll be 6, right? So then you'll need to get 3 more. So, you know, maybe you want to start to do the light gearing for some of the characters and start working on them a little bit while you work on other stuff as well. You know, I mean, you could do a little bit of both, you know, but... Also, Durgan asks, would a Mecha Mall be a 2-part event? Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah. At the shopping mall.
Yes.
At the shopping mall. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do think that I do think that there will be another version of Maul at some point. He's too important of a character not to see him again. I think we'll see him again in the story too. Like, I think, you know, even though he's not, you know, he technically died now officially, I think that we'll see him in the past again at some point. You know, we'll see him show up on one of these shows.
Yeah, he's shown up on a lot of them, so it's just realistic for him to have another character and stuff
As long as Ray
in the
Park is still
game.
around and still able to move, I think he's going to be in stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right.
you know, that's what I think. I mean, you
He
know,
he recently had that falling out though, man. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he had some questionable posts on his Instagram or something, and it kind of roasted him.
I mean, every day.
Oh, I didn't
bit.
hear about that.
Every day.
Look that one up. I don't want to get into it, but it's pretty severe.
Damn, we should have an episode that's scandals.
The thing
Yeah.
is, Star Wars is such a big franchise that there's every day there's a new scandal. Like right now, they're talking about how there's 2 factions at Lucasfilm. One that's behind Kathleen Kennedy, and the other one that's behind Dave Filoni and John Favreau. And that, you know, one faction wants them to get rid of Luke and Grogu, and the other one, you know, wants to. It's just the most asinine stuff that, like, some fanboy sitting behind a computer that has no actual things going on in his life is writing, right? These things are not real. Okay, there's not actually that. Do I believe there's some truth to those things? Yes, I do. I do think that there is a bit of a decision going on here, especially now that Bob Iger's not running Disney anymore. That amplifies the fact that there is definitely probably somebody who's new. There's a new guy in charge of Disney, right? And he's probably looking and saying, okay, we got a lot of fan backlash about The Last Jedi and all the content that we were making before that was going like pro girl power and all this other stuff that they were doing. Not saying that has anything to do with girls, okay? I'm saying girls should be a big part of Star Wars, but it seemed like Kathleen Kennedy was kind of like forcing that into the narrative. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, rather than letting it happen organically, right? And what ended up happening is now there's another person it's in charge, and now they're seeing that the Mandalorian and Grogu and Baby Yoda and all this stuff is flying off the shelves, making them money, and people are loving the show. They're crying on YouTube about Luke Skywalker coming back. It's very evident to, I think, somebody looking from outside of the box that the stuff that is happening now with these TV is what people want, right? In comparison, I think whereas, like, you know, this, you know, maybe with The Last Jedi, whether you like the movie or dislike the movie, you have a fan base that's like divided.
Right.
It's like divided.
Do we lose you a little bit there?
Probably.
I thought so for a second there. I was like,
I thought it was just me.
No, the stream dropped for a second.
Okay, no worries.
okay.
So what I'm saying is, while they have these two people making content, I think that whoever's in charge of Disney is going to see like these guys are making. He's making Rebels. People love Rebels. He's making The Mandalorian. People love The Mandalorian. And then they have other stuff that is being created that is kind of divisive to the fan base. They're going to want to go with the stuff that everybody loves. Everybody loves that Luke came back. I would say that majority, anybody who doesn't like what happened with Luke on The Mandalorian is just being obtuse, right? Like they're just literally like you just are one of those people that doesn't want to see any fan service, wants new stuff, wants to stop retreading the old stories. And I understand that. Like you want new content. So for some people that makes sense. And that's why they're creating like the High Republic and this other stuff that has nothing to do with the original timeline, right? But there should be some for both, right? Like there should be new content that's created, and they can do that. Listen, they can go literally into the past, into like 3,000 years ago or 100,000 years ago, and talk about the origins of all this stuff that we're seeing in the Skywalker saga, and they can write their own path. There doesn't have to be a Revan, there doesn't have to be a Malik, there doesn't have to be a anything other than stuff that they've already committed to, right? Like there is definitely a commitment already to Darth Bane and the Rule of Two and things like that in the canon. But besides that stuff, they can literally rewrite the history however they want, right? So there's a lot of opportunity there for them to create content. I imagine that they're going to want to pick somebody who is creating the content that the fans are liking the most. So I'm assuming that eventually they'll probably pass the torch over in like a very like politically correct way. They're not going to like fire Kathleen Kennedy, but what they'll do is like promote her to like a different position and then just say, hey, Dave Filoni's now in charge of Lucasfilm Star Wars content, right? Like that's what they'll say, like she's promoted, but really it's like she's just not in charge of it, and they'll make her feel like she was a thank you for all you did, and you're a hero, and Rey and all this stuff, and that's the way they'll do it, but they'll make it seem like it's just a natural progression rather than the fact that just people like their content better.
Yep.
Anyway, I think that's about it for the questions. Yes, whatever Kathleen wants, do the opposite. We'll see. Honestly, they hired that girl to make the Rogue Squadron movie, and then she just released, and everybody thought she was going to be great because she made Wonder Woman #1, and then she just made Wonder Woman #2, and that came out, and oh my goodness, is that movie underwhelming. Has anybody watched Wonder Woman 2?
No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man.
It's not that it's like awful, but it's like not good at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's like, I mean, it's really like it's like all over the place. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's just
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything about the movie, but I mean, when you make a movie take place in the 80s, in 1984, and not utilize a lot of the 80s staples, I mean, they had so much opportunity to capture the hearts of anybody that grew up in the 80s, and they didn't do it.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. Cause
it's called Wonder Woman 1984, and it's like, that's why, and I'm going to go off on a tangent a little bit, but that's why, in my opinion, like Cobra Kai is so good, because they still reference the old series, right? The 80s and all that. And then you bring all these actors back from the Karate Kid movies, and you reminisce, right? Like that's the connection. And I felt like, to Ramon's point is it's called Wonder Woman 1984. And it's like, they just didn't reminisce enough to where, I felt connected or anything like that, like, I mean, I'm in my early 40s, and like, I was just like, man, they could have done so much better, so much more with it.
Yeah, and
I don't know. That's the way I felt,
I agree with you 100%. I mean, 1984, and I mean, like, you're I mean, they have all this stuff coming out, like, Stranger Things, and
correct.
These things are kind of writing a blueprint for, like, all these people are, I mean, like, it may, when I heard that the title of the movie was 1984, I thought immediately, okay, they're cashing in on the fact that everybody is like into this 80s nostalgia stuff right now because it's like big. It's big right now. I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
I even watched the American Horror Story like 1984 or whatever. Is it 1984? Or I forget what year it is in the but it's American Horror Story based on like the Jason and Freddy 1980s horror flicks, right? It says it's like the slasher films from the 80s is what it's based on. Like it's like literally almost a mirror image of like Crystal Lake is in the movie, you know what I'm saying? But like in the show. So I mean there's lots of shows that are like calling back to this nostalgia, and if they do it right, like they throw in some music and they wear the right clothes and you can see like some food and other things from that time period that just make sense, like different cars and all these other things. It kind of just like the attention to detail with that stuff like really wraps you in, right? So if they had done that with Wonder Woman, that would have definitely made me more invested in the movie for sure. And it just wasn't like that. And X-Men: Days of Future Past did a great job with that too. Yeah, for sure. Even other movies like Mrs. Marvel did a pretty decent job with that. Like Mrs. Marvel. Not saying that the movie was great, but I mean, like, you know, like you could see like the clothes they're wearing and things like that. You know, when you go back to Samuel L. Jackson doesn't have his eye patch, and you know, it's like they had like they
and they go to a Blockbuster Video and all that. Like, I mean, it's I love that.
I was in college at that time. I was in college in the early 80s, so.
Yeah, that stuff is cool, you know. I mean, you might as well utilize it. It doesn't make sense not to. And they didn't do any progression for her in the movie. I don't know why we're talking about Wonder Woman, but anyway, I just feel like that's the deal. But the lady that created Wonder Woman, or the director for Wonder Woman, has been hired to direct the Rogue Squadron movie. So everybody was like super amped up about her getting that job because she actually created a successful movie with Wonder Woman. I don't know anymore, you know, because again, Kathleen Kennedy makes poor decisions when it comes to these. I mean, like, you know, she already signed like, what's his name, you know, to 3 movies, whatever his name is, Jesus, The Last Jedi. Why am I drawing a blank right now?
I'm not sure
anyway, the director of the Last Jedi.
Right.
Oh, Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson, right? So
oh God.
They signed Ryan Johnson to 3 movies, and I don't think that they're going to do that anymore. I don't think we'll ever see those Ryan Johnson movies. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong, but you know, the Game of Thrones guys, Ryan Johnson, I think that stuff is not happening. I think that they realize that there's too much. That is not happening. So I mean,
it's like. Man, like Game of Thrones, I mean, you know, it's like watching your favorite team go all the way to the finals and then they lose. You know, it was just
it's so rough.
Bad.
Man.
It's so bad.
Oh, yeah. Game of Thrones was the worst, the most egregious. I mean, like, you know, you're literally, you know, I mean, how could they? I don't know, man. How could you amp up that? I mean, literally, the first scene of the first episode is the White Walkers, right? And that's the tone for the show, right? Like these creepy things are coming. Just wait, right? And then they literally resolve that plot in the show in 1 episode. They literally show up, they die in the most stupid way possible. Like all that guy needs to do is literally hang back on his dragon and let the White Walkers just destroy everything, and they win, right? It's over. He doesn't need to go get Bran himself. It's just dumb.
Right.
And they did zero explanation of any of the lore or the history behind it or anything at all. It's just like, I mean, you cannot like be creating all this like, you know, these like you know, having flashbacks to like how the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers, and then showing these like little pictograms of like dead bodies being put in like certain shapes and stuff like that, and then do zero explanation as to what relevance that has, right? Like and what the reason is, where they came from, why they're back suddenly now. I mean, George R. R. Martin, the writer of Game of Thrones, has many times stated that he'll never just create a character for the sake of being either bad or good. Like, there's no heroes or villains in this story. There's just all gray, right? Like, so the White Walkers coming back has to have some sort of a reason. It's not like they're just back to kill everybody. But in the movie, in the show, that's what they were for. They literally said, like, they're here to erase the existence of man. Like, they just are here to erase the history of mankind, which is basically like they're just here to kill everybody, right? So it's like, that doesn't make any sense at all, like, because the writer has stated, like, he would never do that, like, he would never and in the books they actually speak to each other. There's a reason for the White Walkers doing what they're doing. It's not like they're just going around killing people because they want to kill people. They're killing people because there's a purpose. So I mean, in their story, they're the heroes of their own story for whatever reason that is, you know. And we're the fact that they're coming back at the same time that dragons happen to be coming back as well, there has to be a deeper explanation for that. So I'm looking forward to whenever the Winds of Winter come out, so we can find out what the actual deal is with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure George R. R. Martin will really explain it a lot better. Ryan Blue Thunder says, I'm rewatching Mando with a sci-fi buddy. He can't stop talking about traveling between Star Wars systems would take years. Use the privy now. It's been a long ride. I'm driving him mad. Yeah, travel between star systems would take years, but they have light speed. We don't really know or have a way to quantify that. So, you know, light speed is pretty... when they go into hyperdrive or hyperspeed, we don't really know how fast that is. That could be 10 times light speed. It could be 1,000,000 times light speed. It's completely unrealistic, of course, because I mean, if you were traveling at the speed of light, your atoms would literally have to disintegrate. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, like, you know, like you would have to literally be no longer a physical mass, right? Like you'd have to become like almost you'd have to become a beam of light. Like, you know, you'd have to literally be weightless, you know, and just shoot. And in order for that technology to exist, I don't think that technology will. It probably will exist one day, but we'll have to be way more advanced than we are now, and they would have to figure out some way to put people's bodies like into stasis or something. Like, I don't know how they would do that, but I don't think that traveling the speed of light is the way. I think they would have to figure out some alternative way to like make shortcuts, like, right, like, you know, kind of like how they figure out ways to fly planes across the country faster by, you know, using certain, you know, certain lines and direction. They would find some way to travel faster through like ricocheting and things like that. But if you moved that fast, your body would, your internal organs would disintegrate. You would die. You know, I mean, there's no way you'd be able to survive that kind of travel. So, but yeah, traveling through the star systems. What's more interesting is that the outer rim of Star Wars has a like an asteroid layer, where and they have the something, you know, the area where they have the unknown regions, right, where there's a completely unexplored space, right? So and there's something there that blocks travel, right? Like, it makes it almost impossible for you to pass that barrier, and they've never really fully fleshed that out or explained it in canon. So at some point, whenever we travel outside of the known areas of Star Wars and they decide to venture off, and we could maybe eventually get more stories like the Usan Vong and stories from Legends, things like that, they could maybe explain a little bit more about the Outer Rim and the unknown regions and some of the issues that they have out there. Like, maybe they'll eventually introduce Abeloth, the character, the mother from you know, the ones. She's like the mother that was trapped away. You know, so I don't know if anybody know that story, but Abeloth is another one that would be cool. And eventually they trapped her, and the devices that they used to trap her is actually called the Maw, which is where they got the guild name for the Maw, which is the Maw is the device that traps Abeloth on her in her whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, now we're totally not talking about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes anymore. We're talking about X-Men.
Yeah,
X-Men
it's gone off the rails already.
So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. I appreciate everybody sticking it out. It's been a good stream, a lot of fun, talking you know, the Armorer, talking a little bit of everything. Before we get there, though, we do have Loki, and he's going to be on RSG this Wednesday, right, with Ranger?
Yeah. So we're going to be doing, you know, the RSG crew, we do the lunch streams. Sorry, I'm on Pacific time, but it's 9 a.m. Pacific. What is that? Eastern?
12,
3 hours?
12 p.m.
Sure. Yeah, so we call it the lunch stream. I'm sorry, I'm on West Coast, but we do lunch stream every day, or every weekday, so 9 a.m. Pacific. Tomorrow we'll be doing GACs for our GA Center stuff, and I believe we're going to be doing that on Twitch. So that's going to start 12 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be doing 3 GACs. So I'll be doing mine, Ranger's doing his, and then we also do Grande's GAC. And then Wednesday is our live show, longest running live show in Star Wars Galaxy Universe. That's the Wednesday stream, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we go, we review what happened in the previous week for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. And then throughout the week, Finn does marbles. I think Finn is going to be up and running now. I know he's been doing, he's been moving. He actually moved to a new apartment now, and I think he's all set up. So he's going to be doing the marbles stream, the Don't Starve Together, all that fun. I think you saw him playing. What was he playing? Cooking something simulator or something.
Right now,
so
Simulator.
he's deep into Cooking Simulator. So
Okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Finn is going to resume his streaming. Again, he moved to a new apartment. He's getting all set up, and he shared some photos in our RSG Discord with the members. So it's pretty good. I'm happy he's back streaming again, and then the weekend stuff. I believe we did D&D earlier today, but we do the D&D streams, and then we have Jedi, the Jedi Academy on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern. So a lot of stuff going on with Reality Skewed Gamers.
Yeah, definitely make sure to check out RSG, of course. The links are in the description for their channel. Also, make sure to check out Operation Metaverse with good old Maurice and TMoney. They stream on Thursday night. And they also, GOM streams on Twitch as well. Head over to Operation Metaverse to check out their stuff. There's a link in the description as well for their channel. What's going on with Boba's podcast? Is there a show tomorrow?
I'm hoping so. I know... Oh man, I've got like phase 4 of the Rate Corps starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time for me, and our podcast is at 6. And then right at 6, I have another Rancor that I'm starting for starting phase 1 through phase 3. So this could be really interesting. How I'm going to be a part of that, but we'll kind of see. We might have to move it to the next night or something.
Okay. Either way, there's a link in the description to the Boba's Alliance channel. They're streaming and making content every week, so make sure to go check that out. Also, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a like on this video if you want to continue to give your family and your children future success and luck going forward. And
damn. I'll do that.
damn,
all right.
Damn. If you wish your family and your children to have future success, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That will help.
That's like the old Tom Vu infomercials. You remember those?
I hear these YouTubers when they make videos and my son watches. Right, like the Minecraft YouTubers and the Fortnite YouTubers and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, if you want 10 years of good luck, leave a like on the video, subscribe. And these kids are like, yeah, and they're like, or like they say, like they manipulate the hell out of these kids, with these videos, because they know like 90% of their viewing audience is like under the age of 10, right? So like these kids are just like, yeah, like and subscribe, they just like keep. So they say things that are like, any normal human being would be like, no, F this guy. I'm never watching this channel again. They'll just say whatever, So the kids, they like, and then they have videos that are like loops, right? Like where they'll just like straight up like say, like, let's say like a new event is coming into Fortnite, like Galactus is showing up into Fortnite or something like that. They'll have like a ticker on the screen that shows like Galactus is going to show up in 10 minutes. And like the kid, it's just literally a loop of the same video over and over and over again. Like, oh, it's probably gonna be another half hour. But we're gonna keep going, and like they just keep playing like as if it's gonna happen, but it never happens, right? So it's just like they just keep people watching, waiting for the event to happen, and it never comes, right? Because it's not, right? But they do that stuff all the time. They try to trick people into watching their stuff. Anyway. Yeah. So we'll be back next week with some more show. Hopefully we'll have GOM and Ranger next week. Either way, make sure to check out all the shows throughout the week. Like I said, Boba's Alliance either tomorrow or Tuesday. Also, Reality Skewed Gamers on Wednesday. Operation Metaverse Thursday. Also, Jedi Academy on Saturday. Make sure to go check out Master Kylo and his channel on Twitch as well. He streams, GAC and and his stuff all the time. So hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their weekend. Thank you so much for being active in the chat and being here late on this Sunday night. I hope everybody has a great evening, and may the force be with you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night, guys.